What's going on, y'all? I'm Antar here with Going After New Goals. I'm here with Rob at the One Stop Shop. Businessman, been doing his thing in the city for a while, making a name for himself. So we're going to jump right into it. So for the people that don't know what you offer, can you tell the people what's going on here at the One Stop Shop?
Yeah, so basically at the One Stop Shop, man, I offer a lot of supporting items for businesses, people doing their own brands, and people that just want custom merchandise. You know, a lot of my business is a custom apparel decoration. I do signs. Pretty much under the name One Stop Shop. If you come to me for something, I pretty much can provide it if it's in the promotional field, from printing to custom apparel. I do sublimation. I do screen printing on T-shirts. I do the heat press. I do the custom mugs, the license plates, custom socks. You can check it out at One Stop Shop 316 on Facebook and Instagram and get a real good look at all the stuff that I do.
Okay, so when did you start this business exactly?
Technically, this particular one-stop shop started in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started it 2012 at the flea market, and it just kind of evolved over the years from doing it part-time to actually working it out to be able to do this as my full-time occupation.
All right. Okay, so what did you do before starting this business?
I used to work for Nielsen BDS, man. I used to have a music industry job. So BDS is where people, if you're an artist, you should know if you're a real artist, you know, your management or whoever's managed you sends your music in to Nielsen BDS. It gets indexed into the computer system. And, you know, my job was like, I was one or two people across the nation that listened to all the radio stations. Like, I had a laptop I could plug in LA, New York, whatever, and just listen to the music, talk to the record labels. So my background is, I come from DJ, producer background too. For people that know me from back in the day, they know I used to be producer in DJ clubs. And
all right, see, I didn't know
do all that stuff.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That's what's up. So, when you started this, what resources did you have to start this business?
So it really started a long time ago for me doing T-shirts. Okay, so. For people that do know me from this town, when I used to be in the flea market, like the early 2000s, I used to sell the bootleg CDs and movies. You know, when that was the hustle.
That was popping.
Yeah, when that was popping, I like to say I was the kingpin because I had everything and everybody came to me to get everything. So doing that business generated a lot of income at the time, and I used to go to New York. And I used to buy, I used to go to New York when the button-down shirts used to be real popular. Mm-hmm. And I used to order the shoes from before there was all the different websites. I used to communicate with the Chinese factory that had the bootleg shoes.
Wow.
And I used to use the translator at the time. It wasn't easy as it is now, but I used to communicate and order the shoes bulk. I used to go to New York, because I had this, back then when I was young, had more, I was making like $10,000 a month.
Wow.
For a good stretch. So I'll fly to New York, get some duffel bags, bring the clothes back, and I'll flip them. I used to sell the purses. Pretty much all the hustles, man. I done did every single hustle. But to how I got on T-shirts is, that when I went to, what happened is they came and shut down the whole operation at the flea market. There's probably like 3 or 4 of us, and they came and they just shut it down.
Because of the DVDs and stuff?
DVDs and all that type of stuff. Yeah. It was a big thing on TV. So I was like, man, what I'm going to do next? So as I've been traveling back and forth, and when I was going to New York, summertime, you'll go into a shop like this and it'll be piled high up with T-shirts, man. And they had, that's back when they was doing the Biggie and the Tupac shirts.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm always looking at how people do their business. So I go in there, I'm looking and saying, oh, because they got that big printer and they got that heat press. Mm-hmm. So I said, I went back, did some quick research, and actually this heat press that I have right here is like from 2003. Wow. That's that goes back to the testament I tell people: when you get money, invest in equipment.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Invest in equipment, because that heat press, I can't even begin to tell you how much money I made off that from 2003 all the way up.
Man, that's wild. That's wild. So, okay.
But that's how I got started in doing T-shirts at the time. And let me backtrack, because during that time, I bought a engraving machine. I don't know if you're familiar with the back then they had the custom dog tags with the pictures engraved.
Oh,
in it.
okay, yeah, I know what you're
So
talking
I
about.
bought an engraving machine back then. And I had and then after I did the bootleg stuff, I transitioned and had an engraving business.
How'd that go?
That was good because I was doing sublimation. You remember the dog tags with the pictures, with the color picture on the gold dog
Right.
tags with the rhinestones?
Yeah,
I used to do
I
all.
had a couple of them.
Yeah,
joints.
I used to do all those at the flea market and run a machine there. And then I started doing T-shirts out there. I didn't have the heat press out there, but I used to take the shirt orders and just deliver them at the flea market.
Wow.
So that's how the T-shirt business. I started it, then I stopped it because I graduated, moved to Kansas City, and did some other stuff. And when I came back here is when I started 2012. I started the One Stop Shop.
All right. So how did you build a successful customer base?
So basically, I think my operation out at the flea market helped establish me because having that business in that area gave me a lot of walkthrough traffic.
Yeah.
So all that walkthrough traffic helped build my steady business every week, and new customers would come. I would pass out cards, and then of course I was doing posting everything on Facebook, and just because my history, I think of a lot of people knowing me from back in the day, and knowing I was always involved with music artists and all that type of stuff, they kind of gravitated towards me to do merch items and just help people in general because. I manufactured the CD covers. I manufactured CDs.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Anything you could put print on. Huh?
Yeah,
you
pretty much.
Put some pictures on it. Okay. So what are some mistakes you wish you could have avoided?
Mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's a lot of mistakes.
Well,
I got a lot of good mistakes. So, couple attempts, man, at renting commercial real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got involved with some shady landlords. Dude around here, he's just known running through everybody. But I was green. I didn't understand, specifics, and I just didn't know about that aspect of the business.
Mm-hmm.
But dude got me for some money. I didn't get the location. It was actually on the north side, up by the Club Vans. The other shopping strip that we did.
Yeah.
I had that big old the end part. I had that big. Location, because my whole key was to have a business on the north side, man, and just have that hot spot right there where people, how it is.
Pulling in and out
come
all
get,
day.
Yeah, get the incense, get the T-shirts, all that stuff. So that kind of derailed my little plan to do that. And then, but I learned a lot from that experience because I ended up getting another location, which I didn't really use at the time, but I stored my stuff there and I was doing lightweight stuff there. But I ended up from learning about the negotiations and my past mistakes, I ended up getting that space for practically free from the landlord for about a year. So, you live and learn, man.
Okay. So, do you do all this by yourself or do you have a team?
Man, this one-stop shop is just me. So, yeah, I'm hustling, man. I'm like doing everything,
Man,
like today I went and did 2 car dealership windows, took pictures at a restaurant so I can hook up their DoorDash and Grubhub. Because I do websites too. Another thing, I do websites. I do internet SEO marketing. I do a lot of stuff. It just depends on the client.
Wow. This is the one-stop shop for real. So if you could describe your organization and the culture that it exists within it, how would you describe that?
Culture? Hey, we're really... my background too, my experience is professional management too.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to manage call centers and special teams and stuff. So I come from a customer service based background in training employees and, teams. So I kind of apply the customer service aspect to my business. And that's how I can say I've been in business for so long because, my business, I kind of guarantee satisfaction, If you come and you get a shirt, something happens, I'm going to switch you out. I'm going to give you more than what you pay for. So based on that philosophy, it hasn't hit me too hard to, there's been sometimes you got to lose money, man, to keep that customer. But I practice that philosophy and it's actually kept me in business. And I get customers that keep coming back year after year.
Oh, man, that's pretty dope, man. So you definitely make sure that the customer is satisfied.
Right.
So how many hours would you say you work a day?
Man, I did this so I could be with my kids all the time. I got two sons, so my whole key of doing business is to be with my family.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got two boys, so I can spend all summer with them. You know what I mean? I used to work a job where I had to go work from 5:30 to 12, and I missed about 3 to 4 years of their life because I was hustling, doing my business and doing that so I could buy a house. You see what I'm saying? So, I had to sacrifice those years, but, now we got a comfortable house and, now I can take my kids to school, I can pick them up, I can do everything with them. So that's my basis for doing the business.
So would you say is that your motivation, your family and your kids?
Oh yeah, definitely. Freedom, man. Freedom is my motivation. Freedom, and because you work a job, you working 40 hours. Like you work in this city, a decent job is gonna be $14 to $15 an hour. If you ain't got no special training, you can go to call center and make $14, $15 an hour. You know how much money that is a week, right?
Right.
Then your lifestyle is pretty much, if you ain't got no partner, it's set around the basis of you making $800 every 2 weeks after tax, so you're making $1,600 a month. Then you got to factor in your rent, and you got to factor you got child care. You got to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I've always been hustling, like since I was young.
Straight up.
Yeah, I've always mowed lawns, whatever it took, man. I was always making extra money. So I just seen like, hey, it's time to actually be full time and not be straddling the fence, man, and trying to work. I like to get money, so I don't mind working. But then I was working and doing this business at the same time, and I was making more money here. So I'm like, it's time to transition over.
So how do you generate new ideas?
Man, reading, research. I'm always looking at other people in other states because everything that comes here is slow. Just like socks. There's nobody here doing the custom socks here.
No.
There's nobody doing it all over.
The nearest I seen was like Dallas.
Yeah, nobody's doing it all over print shirts. So, I got a network of things that I look and research and always trying to stay a step ahead of the game, man.
For sure. I do. I use that same philosophy, man. When I go out of town, I'm seeing what's hot out there. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back to the city. So, do you believe that there's a pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. At least for me, for any person that's trying to get money, man, you got to have a system. You got to have a system of how you do things. You got to take the thought process out of menial things. If I know I have to, I'm going to give you a good example. For example, I have to set up a lot of systems. Like if I know I have to make a flyer, and before I just caught on myself, I used to, when I had to say I had to make a flyer, I go in there and I have to set the parameters every single time. Mm-hmm. It needs to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I used to do that all the time. And then I was like, man, I'm just wasting a lot of time. So like, really just recently, I'm starting to set up systems for everything I do. So if somebody needs to get a button made, I got a pattern for that. I got just pretty much trying to systemize my whole business so, I can have somebody come in here and run my business.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, right now, we kind of slave to the business. We self-employed. So you got to be, if I don't work, I don't make money, right? So the key is transitioning to getting a whole bunch of little routines that I can just have somebody come in and do it and teach them how to do everything.
Right. Now, you kind of touched on this earlier, talking about being with your kids, but how has being an entrepreneur affected your family life?
It's made it better, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's made it better. It gives me more flexibility, man. Think about it. You work a job. You got kids, right?
Yeah.
So, you got young kids, right?
Yeah.
But you think about your kids when they start going to school and, if you work in a job, they call you from the school, there's an issue, you can't just jump up and go to the school. True. My kids' schools, they know me. They know if they call me for something, I'm a be right there in 15 minutes.
Straight up.
Every time they try to run some BS, which they do in the school system.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I'm up there. Just like I had a meeting with principals yesterday. We're having a problem. I said, oh, no, because, we don't need to go into the whole school stuff, but I can tell you a whole bunch of stuff about that, how don't teach your kids blind discipline in this system. Because like I told them, I said, man, y'all running the system. Y'all run the school system like it's the police force and the way you implement the punishment on the kids. I was able to go there and defend my child, man, which a lot of parents can't do. Right. And their kids get ran through the system, man.
Straight up.
That's the important part for me.
Okay, so what skills keep you productive and focused on your day-to-day schedule?
Skills is what you mean?
Like what keeps you focused? Like if you having working on a project that's taking a lot of time, like how do you just
Man,
stay down until you get it done. Like what?
shit. One of my things is, man, I have a good track record, man. If I say I'm gonna deliver something, I'm gonna deliver it. So, like you asking about how much do I work, man? I don't stop working.
Yeah.
I'm working here. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna do some because that's what I do. I mean, I cannot not work. See, I'm the type of person that I can't sit down and just watch TV.
No, yeah.
I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
I might just run something on Netflix and I'll be working on a computer, but I gotta be working all the time because I'm not exactly where I need to be at.
I feel you on that, man. Yeah, turn that TV off, y'all.
Yeah.
Pick up a book or something.
Yeah, that
man.
brain.
And
That
I
is
say,
brainwashing
invest
garbage,
in
man.
yourself, man.
Yeah.
So, what would you say the 3 skills you would need to be a successful entrepreneur or business person?
3 skills.
Yeah.
You gotta have the motivation. You gotta have the hustle, man. Because a lot of people come to me, man, Rob, I want to be like you. I want to be in business. I'll be like, man, you got a good job. You might as well just keep your job because this right here, running your own business, man, you're gonna be rich one day. Next day you're gonna be broke. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're an entrepreneur, man, you gotta constantly invest in your business. You know what I'm saying? Like if I made $1,000 yesterday, quarter of that may go to supplies, but then there's so much new stuff that I need to buy to improve my business.
Right.
So I'm constantly reinvesting my money. So back to the question, you gotta have the hustle. The hustle is very important, man, because that's what gets you up out your bed every day.
Yeah.
That's to me, like if I know, man, today, man, I could collect $600. That's a week's pay for some people.
Straight up, right.
So that's my motivation. Like today, I jumped up. I said, yeah, let me go ahead and take care of this business. I'm going to go over here. Then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to knock all this stuff out. Boom. That's my motivation. So the hustle is the motivation. The discipline, you got to be disciplined. A lot of people not disciplined.
No.
You can't be smoking weed every day and just expect you about to do what you got to do.
Right.
So the hustle, the discipline, and just integrity too, man. Integrity is important. Cannot be out here just kind of trying to bamboozle people into different things. I see how a lot of people just try to give you some product and be on your way. I have to stand on my product because that's how I stay in business. And that's what keeps people coming back.
So yeah, those are 3 good ones, man.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, I'm sure the people appreciate that. So let's see. I would say what's unique about your business. I mean, but you offer so many products, man.
It's a unique thing, but at the same time, it's a detriment, and that's one thing I'm trying to segment because people be like, "Oh, what do you do?"
Yeah.
My thing is, what don't I do?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of things I'm working to segment, like my print business. I've been doing that for over 20 years. I've been a trade printer for over 20 years. So
wow.
I've always, flyers, CD, anything that's printable. I've been doing that before I actually had this business. That was one of my side hustles. So, where we at?
Well, I mean, so what would you say has been your greatest inspiration?
My greatest inspiration?
Yes.
My greatest inspiration, man, is because I never really had nobody to teach me stuff. Like, I can't say nobody came and taught me how to screen print shirts. Nobody told me how to do this with everything that I do, man. My inspiration is from research and reading. You know what I'm saying? Anything that I wasn't, people are lucky in this internet age, because I'm a little bit older, So before the internet was a viable thing, man, I used to have to read magazines. I'll be in a bookstore. I'll be in a bookstore, Barnes and Noble, sitting there stacking magazines because that's how we used to have to get that information.
Sure
now
enough.
You get that information through websites in your feed. But, back in the day, you just be looking, taking pictures, taking notes, and just building all that little research material, So, like I said, research and reading, man, has been my biggest inspiration.
Man, that's dope. That's dope. So, have you ever turned down a client?
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a couple I've turned down.
What happened? Was it something you can talk about?
Yeah. I mean, somebody come and do something like, man, can you make this Confederate flag for me? I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
man.
somebody came through with that?
Yeah, be in the flea market, man. People trying to be like, nah. Or it's, man, just a couple people I had to, that get me off my pivot, man, that I had to, just check and be like, don't come back.
Wow.
Just because you try to give somebody a good deal. My thing is, I'm going to give you good customer service. So I'm going to be the most friendly. We get money, man. So I'm going to be the most I'm gonna be the best person to you. I want to get in your pockets, right?
Yeah.
But then when somebody come and you try to help them out and break your back trying to help them, and then they still want to be disrespectful or have some complaints, and you just, you lose the money, mess with them. It's time for you to go. So that pretty much. I had a few situations like that.
So somebody actually tried to come get you to make Confederate flag.
Yeah, man. You didn't think about, man. You at the flea. You dealing at the flea market on the South Side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got people that come to this biggest flea market when it was the biggest flea market in Kansas. You got people come from these little country towns, man.
And were you at that time? Were you like the only person out there doing the screen printing in the flea market?
There was another dude that was close to me. And I used to just refer him to, it was a white dude. I said, man, go see him. He can help you.
Yeah, straight up. So what drives you to keep going when it's really tough?
Bills? Shit. You know what I'm saying? Really, this is when you run your own business, man, you don't get a set paycheck. So that's why you got to keep grinding every day, because, I might sit, I can't say I just don't sit with no business, man, because I'm always having something to do. But shit, this is what I do, man. Business is what I do. I got multiple streams of revenue and business, and I'm always trying to find something. I'm trying to get to the ultimate goal where I don't have to sit up here and do this stuff.
Right, like you were saying, have somebody come in.
Yeah, because we own by our business, man. When you're a small business.
So what would you say is your least favorite part about being an entrepreneur?
Least favorite part?
Least favorite.
Ups and downs, man.
Yeah.
It's ups and downs. Luckily I have more ups and downs since I've been in business for so long. But, comes those times where, just like everything, you might have an unexpected bill that's out your budget or something. And then, my money's always tied up. Like I might have thousands and thousands of dollars, but they're going to be tied up in different things. My stuff will be tied up in supplies. My stuff will be tied up in equipment. And sometimes I have to maneuver to cash all my stuff in to get my actual physical cash, man.
So since you've been doing this so long, do you actually have like a marketing approach that you use, or?
I do have a digital market system that I do use, man, that I've been using for about a year.
Yeah.
That's been effective, and I've been slowly trying to introduce other people into that part of my business, which is like proximity marketing. So what I do with that is I use for my own business, but I can offer that service to other people too. So, for example, in this location right here, I got an advertising system where I could set my location and advertise within this whole radius. And what ends up happening is if you're on your phone across the street or you living within this area that I set up, then my ad's going to show up through your phone.
That kind of like geofencing?
Geofencing is exactly the same. Okay. Pretty much the same thing.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, and like I said, we got to stay up with the times, man. Yeah, the technology for sure. Let's see here. Do you have any recommendations for entrepreneurs as far as things that they should invest in or look into? Like, what activities would you recommend entrepreneurs invest in?
Yeah, I mean, invest in yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My biggest success, man, has been investing in physical equipment. Through my life, man, I'll get chunks of money, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I know I'm going to get 10 racks coming in, then I'll be like, what can I buy with that's going to stand the test of time? Like, I'll give you a good example. Like, I got 3D printers. I got laser cutters. I got, embroidery machines. Some of that stuff I don't even use, right?
No stuff.
But I get the stuff because I want to learn how to use it, and at the same time, I'll be like, okay, this would be a business that I could use this for a business activity later when I find the time. Yeah, because the tool, sometimes the tools don't get old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you use asset tools. Okay. Heat press is not going to get old. You can always press something. A screen print machine is never going to get old. A laser cutter is going to cut. Like, you see that stuff right behind you? You see how I got that wood and acrylic? All that stuff is cut with the laser. Oh. You see? So it don't get old, man. I could use that laser 5 years from now and still produce a product that I could sell.
Wow. So what would you say is your most memorable moment as an entrepreneur? Or just one of your most memorable moments?
I say the memorable moments for me is, man, when you do something and you get a nice sizable payout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
More than what you.
Well, you know,
you
sometimes you'll get it. You know, there's been times where I might get a print job through just a connection, man. You know, which I don't even have to touch nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's trade printing. So you know, there's times where I made a lot of money on one transaction, and I'm like, I didn't have to do nothing but send something through.
Wow.
You know, there's a lot of different situations, man. Like, you know, I could be like, man, you just caught you a little lick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So this is a question I ask everybody too. Is there what's your favorite book?
My favorite book?
Yeah.
So I think one of my favorite books, man,
one of your favorite books.
Okay, one of my favorite books. I have to say that I read when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is Think and Grow Rich, the Black edition though.
Oh, I got that one too.
Yeah. So they talk about all the Black. It's the same thing, same Think and Grow Rich, but it tells you about all the stories of the Black entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was motivation when I probably read that in, 18, 19 or something like that. You know?
Man, that's crazy. That is a good book though. So since you do this by yourself, did you ever have a mentor?
No.
No?
No. Let me think. No, I never had man, I was the only child, man, so I didn't have no mentors. Like, I was on my own, man. I was, pops military, and so I was like taking care of myself at 5. I was a latchkey kid at 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, I was going home 5 years old with a key around my neck, you know what I'm saying, and chilling, and just left to my own devices, man. So I always had to figure stuff out myself.
That's what's up, man. So that probably what drove you too.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I wish I didn't have no big brothers to be like, hey, look at this. You know what I'm saying? This is how we're going to do this, So,
were you only kid?
I was the only kid, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, how's being an entrepreneur affected your relationship with your friends?
Man, I got a few good friends, but I really don't deal with people too much.
No?
Like, really everything I do is kind of going to be business oriented. I got a couple partners that we go back, but we're all grown. We got families now. It ain't the old school, we're going to kick it.
Mm-hmm.
We chop it up once in a while. But other than that, I'm really like 100% business, man.
That's what's up.
110% really.
So tell us, when was your first, I can do this for a living moment? Was it back at the flea market or when you was making all these trips?
Oh, yeah. No, man, I had So when I realized for real, okay, I don't try not to talk about it too much, but when I was really so I was a manager at this company. The company folded. So I was kind of like, you in that limbo stage where you're on unemployment, whatever, the in-between jobs. And I was like, damn, I was a manager. I did that job for 8 years, man. So I was like the high-level management, the youngest Black person in that company because I started from the beginning. So I learned every job. So they really couldn't deny me any promotions. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I was at the top of my game. I was like 20-something. I think I was almost, at that time, I was making close to $50,000, which was good back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And mid 2000s or something like that. No, that was the end of the early 2000s because I ended that job in like 2001, 2002, 2001. But then that's when I went to the transition. Like, what I'm gonna do? I don't want to go back to that office type job, office politics. If you ever work in the corporate environment, you know how it can be. So I was like, I didn't want to do that. So that's when I kind of, I was always DJing too. I was, back then I was DJing.
Hustle, yeah,
I was DJing and producing and stuff. So I had all the music, Plus, that's when Napster and all that stuff came out.
Man.
So I was killing it. I said,
burning CDs too.
Man, everything.
Mixtapes, right?
Everything. So I think when I transitioned to doing that business, doing the CDs and taking it from really, man, just sitting at a table and only having like a handful of CDs to next thing you know, man, I got like 2 stalls full of stuff. And I was making money hand over fist. Yeah. And that's when I did that for a few years, man. It was just money rolling in. You know what I'm saying? So when I got a taste of that, I was like, oh, I just need to be doing business full time, But that's a false sense of business because doing that type of activity, you could equate to like somebody selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, it was, we'll say semi-illegal, whatever,
Right,
back
the
then.
gray
You know what I'm
area,
saying?
yeah.
That was everybody. That was the hustle. Everybody was doing it back then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you couldn't go far with that, man. You know what I'm saying? You can only go as far as until they shut your shit down, basically. Can we cuss on here?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna cuss too much, but it slip out sometimes.
I understand, man. So tell people how they can reach you as far as your social media contacts and website.
Reach out to me on Facebook at One Stop Shop 316 spelled out. Same thing on Instagram, One Stop Shop 316. Email onestopshop316@gmail.com. And reach out to me through those channels and check the products out. And if you see something you need for your business or personal needs, definitely hit me up, man.
Well, I appreciate you taking out the time to come chat with me, man.
Cool, man. Cool.
Like I said, I love everything you got going on down here. The inspiration to people, whether you know it or not, man.
Hopefully, man.
I definitely value your hustle, man. So
Yeah,
that's why I want to
appreciate
come
it.
down.
Thanks for